I think back or look to a situation that occurred in the mid-'60s, right? One guy that I love, and I know you love, Frank Sinatra, the chairman of the board.
Yep.
That Frank Sinatra. He offered to sponsor a tournament. The tournament was going to be held in Palm Springs, but the PGA, in the end, said no thanks. No.
And not only that, it was a $200,000 purse tournament. So there was a lot of money that was going to be paid to these players for playing in it. And the PGA comes in. And look, they had this with, Bing Crosby had his clam bake, is famous up there up in Pebble Beach area. And Bob Hope had his tour. That was famous as well. But those were in conjunction with the PGA.
Was not.
This was not. So now you're telling all of these players, that they can't play in this tournament where they're going to get a chance of winning part of $200,000, which obviously led to a revolt, and it really widened the divide between the touring pros and the club pros, and the executives of the PGA were obviously with the club pros. These are the guys that are running their pro shops at all their famous golf courses.
Right.
And a little bit after that...
but I go back to this the governance thing, right? Who made up the board of the PGA? It seems like there's a lot more club pros, golf pros, than there were pro golfers. So this is an assumption, and I'll be very clear that it's an assumption, but it seems like, why would we let you play in a tournament where you can make more money than we can play? Going back to the pride thing. You got these professional golfers, not golf pros, but pro golfers, that have the opportunity to showcase their skills, and I don't want to say, but I'm going to say, we're probably better at the game, which is why they got to where they're at. And maybe there's a bit of bitterness here. Maybe there's a sense of bitterness.
There's a bit of bitterness. There's a bit of tradition. And you had a lot of the quote-unquote old guard who were sticking with the executives. Because it wasn't just club pros. There were some big names.
Yes.
Walter Hagen was a part of this. Sam Snead was a part of this. Bobby Jones was a part of this. Those are huge names in golf who did huge things for golf that were not lining up with the Jack Nicklauses and the Billy Caspers of this new guard. So it was the club pros, absolutely. It was the executives who wanted to sit on their fat behinds and continue to bring money in the way that they like to, and divvy up the money the way they like to, and not give these guys a chance to make a living in a different manner. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a run. Yeah.